I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're diving into an unbelievable true story of wealth, loss, and redemption. Clark East has penned a powerful book. It is called Life is a Series of Unexpected Interruptions. In it, he takes readers on his journey from multimillionaire success to soul-crushing downfall and his incredible road back to faith, love, and purpose. This is a powerful and deeply personal story, and it is a must read for anyone seeking hope, redemption, and the courage to overcome life's biggest mistakes. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below the interview. And be sure to download the Spotlight Network TV app, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Clark, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you on the show. Your story of success begins like a lot of people's. You began at a very young age, active in the workforce. Give us a little bit of your road to riches story.
I started as a shopping center developer when I was 20 years old. So I was blessed at a young age. My mom and dad were great supporters and always told us if we believe it, we can achieve it. And there was no dream too big. And my father was a general contractor. So I worked in the construction business with my two brothers and my dad.
Mm.
So at 19, I had a dream of becoming a developer while I was working for my father. And at 20, was able to build my first shopping center in Grapevine, Texas. Built it for 300,000, sold it for 700,000. So that was my first beginning. Ended up building a dozen shopping centers in the Dallas Fort Worth market. Made my first million by the age of 25. Then moved to Tampa, Florida, and continued my development. Built approximately 50 projects and had almost 100 million in development projects, 100 million in loans. Then the 2008 recession hit, and unfortunately started doing friendly foreclosures with a number of lenders. One particular shopping center that I built was with the bank that was declared insolvent. A new bank took that loan portfolio over, and I made a series of poor choices. Took money from a trust account that I was responsible for
Mm.
and thought I could justify it by thinking I've already lost millions. I want to do the right thing, but the bank that had bought the loan portfolio only paid 1 million for the asset. So I sent 1 million to the bank, and then a few days later they came back and said, "Well, Mr. East, you violated the trust of the bank, of the bankruptcy court, and that 1,000,008 was due to all of us." I took 800,000 from that trust account. So fast forward, my attorney said, "Clark, you eventually will be indicted. What you did was wrong." Couldn't believe at that point the shame that I had and the fear that came over me that how did I build a relationship with banks, with tenants, all based on trust? And
Mm.
how did I violate that trust at that stage in life, all because of and fear is crippling. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize it until I spent 18 months in federal prison. That's what my conviction was. So I lost everything. Certainly had to become humble as humble can be, where you get to a point in life, really look back and say, God, how did I make this mistake? How did I let these poor choices change my whole life?
Mm.
So I went through a divorce, lost everything, started all over again. But through the grace of God, what I learned, which was incredible, that God's love doesn't judge us for our mistakes. It redeems us. It leads us from despair to hope and from darkness into light.
Mm.
So hitting rock bottom, losing everything financially. And what I learned the most is when you're making money, you you look at your life and you equate everything to your net worth.
Mm.
And that's what I was doing wrong. I was equating everything to things. And when I was stripped of everything, I finally realized that that's not what life is all about. Yes, we want the luxury things, we want the finer things in life, but honesty, integrity, love. I never thought that I would be loved again. I never thought that Linda would believe in me again. I lost all hope.
Mm.
I look back and fear led me to all those poor decisions.
Yeah.
So fear is just so crippling. And I hope that what I can share with my readers is that whenever you get to that darkest moment in life, that don't let fear be the guiding light of your journey. Fear is the adversary. That's not of God. God wants us to face the challenges, to stand up. He'll never leave us. But I had a very good friend over 35 years. He said, Clark, you went through what you're going through. You left God and you left me. And I think for me, that's what happened. I got into that circle of despair that I felt so alone and I felt so desperate and I lost my compass.
Mm.
I've learned through this and going through 18 months in a federal prison camp. There were no bars, so it's like a dormitory, but still you have the loss of freedom. But I was going through counseling every day. That was part of the program. So I learned so much about myself that if you change your thinking, you can change your results. And there's nothing so, God never stops loving you. It's like having children. I would tell my children all the time, there's nothing you can do in this world that would ever stop me from loving you.
Mm.
That's the message I learned about my faith being restored in God, that there's truly nothing we can do that God would ever stop loving us. And He wants us to have abundance. He wants us to happy and to get back on our feet. So I was blessed tremendously that I had a family that supported me and said, "We love you. We understand. We know you." And my son one day said, "Dad, will the real Clark East please stand up?"
Mm.
That was a powerful message.
Yeah.
But I've learned every setback is a setup for better things to come, and truly love conquers all.
Yeah. It must have been mind-blowing in many ways. You started out at 20 years old. You had the Midas touch right away. Everything turned to gold. 2008 happens, and everybody in real estate lost a bundle, pretty much. Lots of foreclosures, lots of short sales. The market was, dead and tanking, and it did for a couple of years after that. Um, it must have been surreal. I mean, you must have been, when you did take funds you shouldn't have taken, you must have thought, like, I'll get it back, I'll put it back, I'll make this right. You were basically just trying to take your resources that you had and do the best you could under unbelievable circumstances, right?
That's correct. That's exactly. And I justified what I was doing, which were certainly the wrong choices. And what I've learned too, I'm 67, so I look back in life and I think we all knew this. You know, there are consequences for every good choice, and there are consequences for every bad choice.
Yeah.
But you never lose hope. You can't ever give up, and that's really the message I want to share with the readers. That it doesn't matter what your life, what events change in your life. Never give up. Never
Mm.
give up. You have the ability to overcome.
Yeah. What was it like writing the book, going through all of this again?
It was therapy. It was really wonderful because I had those 18 months and I wrote it in the camp. So I thought the best way to heal what I'm going through and feeling is to put it on paper. So
Mhm.
I wrote the manuscript in writing. And then when I got out of the camp, I sent it to three publishers. The publisher said, "Love your story, love your comeback." That was another miracle to have gotten it published and became the number one bestseller in four different categories. Um, so it's really been my calling. Tell
Yeah.
the truth up front, what I've been through, and the ones who really count in your life, they understand,
Yeah.
forgive, and they want to see you succeed.
Yeah. What was it like rebuilding your life once you got out of jail?
I thought it would be much harder, but I think the lesson of staying humble and just telling my story and second chances. It's really about second chances. And I found a lender that gave me a second chance. I found the love of my life. I'm remarried now. And one of my prayers every day was, "Dear Heavenly Father, I know that you found, I know you you know my match in heaven already. Just allow it.
Hmm. Yeah.
A beautiful woman that is just incredibly supportive. Kids love her, and it's been a whole new life.
Hmm. The dissolution of your first marriage, was that a consequence of the wrongdoing in the jail, or was that marriage breaking up anyway?
It was breaking up, although it certainly was because of the choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was very, very difficult. We were married 32 years. That was
Yeah.
a hard struggle. But God had something better in store for me. I didn't know it at the time.
Yeah.
And it's ironic, the title, Life is a Series of Unexpected Interruptions, came from my ex-wife 25 years ago. That's what she would say. You never know where life's going to lead you, and life's a series of unexpected interruptions. And who would have ever thought 30 years later, I go through what I did and I write a book, and that title could not have been more fitting.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Were you always a person of faith, or has your faith grown during your times of trouble?
Always a person of faith. It certainly has grown.
Yeah.
Um, what I learned, though, when you're in that dark place in life, no matter what you're going through, whether it's the loss of a child, a loved one, loss of a business, whatever it is, you get into that dark place in life where you start to second guess, is there a God? Why is this happening to me? But again, today where I'm at, it's all based on that I lost my compass. God never left me, I left him.
Yeah. And there, but for the grace of God, goes I. I mean, this could really happen to anyone. Put in an unbelievable circumstance, people do make bad choices. So it's certainly completely understandable. What do you hope readers take away from your book?
That there are second chances, and that you can change any circumstance around. Um, just never give up. Surround yourself with love. Allow the ones that you may be closing out in your life to come back into your life, and that encouragement. And there's nothing that feels better than to have that encouragement and that love.
Yeah.
Because again, with love, you can overcome anything. Really is the foundation of, I believe, why we're here.
Hmm.
It allows us to get up again in the morning and gives us our drive.
Yeah. And when it comes down to it, that's what life's all about. It's about our love. It's about our relationships. It's about our relationship with those around us, our family, our friends, our creator. And all of that is underscored in your wonderful book. It is called Life is a Series of Unexpected Interruptions. In it, Clark takes readers on his journey from multimillionaire success to a soul-crushing downfall, and his incredible road back to faith, love, and purpose. It is a deeply powerful and personal story, and it is a must-read for anyone seeking hope, redemption, and the courage to overcome life's biggest mistakes. Clark, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight and sharing your story.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, and it's been a real joy. Thank you.
It's been a joy having you on the show. I appreciate your wisdom and your candor and your faith. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.